You think you know yourself, but what if I told you there's a stranger living inside your mind right now, making decisions for you, sabotaging your relationships, and you've never even met them? This isn't some horror movie plot. This is your shadow self, and it's been controlling you since childhood. Stay with me because what I'm about to reveal will change how you see yourself forever. Right now, as you're watching this, your brain is hiding things from you. Not small things, big things. Things about who you really are and why you do what you do. And here's the wild part. This isn't a theory. This is proven psychology that therapists use every single day to help people break free from patterns they didn't even know existed. If you've ever wondered why you keep attracting the same toxic people, why you sabotage good things in your life, or why you feel like you're wearing a mask around everyone, including yourself, you're in the right place. And hey, if you want to understand your mind better and stop letting your past control your future, hit that subscribe button right now because we're going deep into the human psyche every single week. And trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next. Let me tell you about Sarah. She came to therapy because she couldn't keep a relationship longer than 6 months. Every single time, just when things got good, she'd find a reason to leave. Too clingy, too distant, too boring, too exciting. There was always something. She thought she was just picky, but here's what we discovered, and this is going to blow your mind. Sarah wasn't afraid of bad relationships. She was terrified of good ones. Her shadow self, the part of her she'd been hiding since she was 7 years old, believed she didn't deserve love. Why? Because when she was 7, her dad left, and her child brain decided it must have been her fault. That little girl created a belief, a program, that ran in the background of Sarah's mind for 23 years. Every time a good man showed up, that program activated. Sabotage mode. End it before he leaves you. Sound familiar? This is what your shadow self does. It's made up of every part of you that you decided wasn't acceptable. Maybe you were told, boys don't cry, so you shoved all your sadness into the shadow. Maybe you were called bossy as a little girl, so you hid your leadership skills and spent your life being passive. Maybe you felt jealous once and someone shamed you, so now you can't even admit when you feel envy, even to yourself. All those parts didn't disappear. They went into the basement of your psyche, and now they're running the show from down there. Carl Jung, one of the greatest minds in psychology, said that until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. Read that again. You will call it fate. You'll say things like, I'm just unlucky in love, or I always mess things up, or that's just who I am. But it's not fate. It's your shadow. And the craziest part, you can meet it. You can integrate it. You can take back control. But first, you need to know what you're looking for. Here's how to spot your shadow self in action. Pay attention to your triggers. Seriously, write this down. Whatever makes you irrationally angry, whatever makes you defensive within seconds, that's not really about the other person. That's your shadow screaming. If someone calls you selfish and you lose it, even though objectively you're not a selfish person, there's a part of you that's terrified of being selfish, so you overcompensate. If you can't stand people who brag, maybe it's because you've suppressed your own need for recognition. If you judge people for being emotional, maybe you've locked your own emotions away. Your triggers are breadcrumbs leading you straight to your shadow. Another clue is projection. This is huge. We don't see people as they are. We see them as we are. If you constantly worry that people are judging you, you're probably judging yourself harshly. If you assume everyone has hidden motives, check your own motives. This isn't about blaming yourself. It's about waking up. It's about realizing that the stories you tell about the world are often just stories about your inner world. Now, let me tell you about Marcus. Marcus was a successful guy. Good job, nice apartment, great friends, but he had this rage. Out of nowhere, he'd explode. Road rage, arguments with strangers, fights with his girlfriend over nothing. He came to therapy thinking he had an anger problem. But anger is never the problem. Anger is the bodyguard of a deeper wound. After weeks of digging, we found it. When Marcus was 12, his older brother used to humiliate him in front of friends. Marcus felt powerless, small, invisible. So he made a vow, never again. He built this tough guy persona, and anything that made him feel weak, even slightly, triggered that 12-year-old's rage. He wasn't angry at the guy who cut him off in traffic. He was angry at every moment he ever felt powerless. That's shadow work, finding the root. And here's the thing, you don't heal your shadow by fighting it. You heal it by integrating it. That means acknowledging it, talking to it, understanding it. I know this sounds weird, but it works. Next time you feel that surge of emotion, pause. Don't react. Ask yourself, how old do I feel right now? You might be surprised. You might feel 5. You might feel 13. That's your inner child, and they're stuck in that moment, reliving it over and over until you show up and tell them they're safe now. Let's go deeper. Your shadow also holds your power. This is the part people don't talk about. Yes, the shadow has your wounds, but it also has your repressed gifts. Maybe you were told you were too much, so you dimmed your light. Maybe you were shamed for being different, so you spent your life trying to fit in. Maybe you had big dreams, but someone laughed, so you made yourself small. All of that, your brightness, your weirdness, your ambition, that's in the shadow too. When you do shadow work, you don't just heal pain, you reclaim power. Think about the people you admire most. What qualities do they have? Write them down. Confidence, creativity, courage, authenticity. Now, here's the secret. You can only recognize those qualities because they exist in you. You can't see what you don't have. If you admire someone's confidence, you have confidence, but you've hidden it. If you admire someone's creativity, you're creative, but you've suppressed it. Shadow work isn't just about facing your darkness, it's about retrieving your light. Before we go further, drop a comment right now and tell me one thing you've been hiding about yourself. It doesn't have to be deep, it can be simple. Maybe you've been hiding that you actually want to be center of attention sometimes, or that you're tired of being the strong one, or that you secretly judge people even though you hate admitting it. No judgment here. This is a safe space, and honestly, just typing it out is the first step to integrating your shadow. So go ahead, I'll wait. Drop that comment. Okay, now let's talk about the scariest part of shadow work. Facing your shame. Shame is different from guilt. Guilt says, I did something bad. Shame says, I am bad. Guilt can be useful. Shame is poison. And most of us are carrying shame we didn't even create. Maybe you absorbed it from your parents, your culture, your religion, your school. Maybe you were shamed for your body, your desires, your feelings, your thoughts. And now you live with this constant background hum of not good enough. Here's what shame does. It isolates you. It convinces you that if people really knew you, they'd leave. So you perform. You show them the version you think is acceptable. You become an actor in your own life, and it's exhausting. But here's the antidote to shame. It's not positive thinking. It's not affirmations. It's connection. It's saying the thing you're most afraid to say and having someone respond with, me too. That's why therapy works. That's why support groups work. That's why vulnerability is so powerful. Shame dies when it's spoken out loud in the presence of empathy. I had a client once who was convinced she was a bad person because she didn't want kids. She'd never said it out loud. She smiled and nodded when people talked about her future babies. She dated men who wanted families. She lived a lie because she thought her truth was unacceptable. When she finally said it in session, I don't want children, she cried for an hour. Not sad tears, relief tears. She'd been carrying that shame for 15 years. And you know what happened when she started being honest? She found her people. She found a partner who felt the same way. She built a life that actually fit her. That's what happens when you stop hiding. Now, how do you actually do shadow work? Let me give you practical steps. First, journaling, but not the Dear Diary kind. Shadow journaling is specific. Ask yourself hard questions. What do I judge most harshly in others? When do I feel most defensive? What compliments do I reject? What do I criticize myself for in my head? What do I never let anyone see? Write it all out, no filter. This is just for you. Second, therapy. I know I'm biased, but seriously, a good therapist can see your blind spots. They can hold up a mirror and help you face what you've been avoiding. You don't have to do this alone. Third, meditation. Sit with your uncomfortable feelings instead of distracting yourself. When anxiety comes, don't grab your phone, sit with it. Ask it what it's trying to protect you from. Fourth, feedback. Ask people you trust how they experience you. This is terrifying but invaluable. Sometimes the version of ourselves we think we're presenting is totally different from what people actually see. Let me tell you something that might sting a little. Every single thing you hate about your life right now, you're participating in. Not because you're weak, not because you're broken, but because there's a part of you that believes this is what you deserve, or this is what's safe, or this is all that's possible. Your shadow is keeping you small because small feels safe. But you're not here to be small. You're here to be whole. Here's the beautiful part. When you integrate your shadow, your entire life shifts. Your relationships get real. You stop attracting people who mirror your wounds and start attracting people who match your healing. Your career changes because you stop playing small and start owning your value. Your anxiety decreases because you're not using all your energy to hide anymore. You become magnetic because authenticity is magnetic. People feel it even if they can't name it. This isn't about becoming perfect. It's about becoming whole. It's about saying, yes, I have darkness and that's human. Yes, I've been hurt and I'm healing. Yes, I've hidden parts of myself and now I'm bringing them home. Shadow work is the most loving thing you can do for yourself because it says, all of me is welcome here. So here's my challenge for you. This week, catch yourself in a moment of judgment, either toward yourself or someone else, and ask why. Why does this bother me so much? What does this remind me of? What part of me am I seeing in them? Just notice, you don't have to fix anything. Awareness is the first step. And if this video resonated with you, do me a favor, share it with someone who needs to hear this. You never know whose life you might change just by sending a link. And subscribe if you haven't already, because we're just getting started on this journey into the depths of the mind. Your shadow isn't your enemy. It's the part of you that's been waiting in the dark for you to finally turn on the light. So go ahead, flip the switch. I'll see you in the next one.